That's gotta be Valentina. Ooh, Valentina. A bitty bitty bum bum like Selena.
Some people say the best way to cure a broken heart or to forget someone is by getting closure. I've tried many things to release my feelings for him, but I always ended up remembering all the memories we had. So let's try this way. I will start by telling how we met. On November 2012, I met this guy. Let's say his name was Sebastian, from a country far, far away from mine. We knew each other through social media for travelers. He came to my city for a holiday, and there we met. At that time, I was young, naive, and I would say innocent. Sebastian and I had an amazing time on a small famous island in Lombok called Gili. We saw a living turtle while he helped me swim in the sea because, well, I'm a bad swimmer. And for some reason, I thought he liked me. You know, from the way he held my hand and made sure I was safe. But as he went back to his country, I found out he already had someone. So we maintained an online friendship. Until one day, in 2019, he reached out to me because that woman left him. I was already with someone at that time, a good man. But we were kind of in the phase where I could see no future with him. So we ended up breaking up. Knowing both of us were single, Sebastian decided to come and visit me. But first, he wanted me to see Kuala Lumpur. So there we met for the second time. After a long, long year, Sebastian and I finally met again. His plane landed first, so he waited for me at the arrival hall. I still remember that moment when he hugged me as soon as he saw me and kissed my head a few times. He couldn't stop smiling, and neither could I. I also remember when he was kind of flirting with me, and in that moment, I realized our feelings were mutual. We spent only 2 days in Kuala Lumpur and headed to Lombok together. My parents picked us up at the airport, and they finally met Sebastian. We went straight to Kuta and spent some days in a simple cottage up in the hill. During this time, our feelings got stronger, and I was convinced he did like me. After spending some time in Kuta, we started an amazing trip, which was sailing to Komodo Island. What a dream comes true! I mean, I never imagined I would be there, let alone with someone I liked. During this trip, we got to know each other much better. And from this trip, I knew I would love him. He took care of me very well, protected me, and treated me with respect. The things I expected in my relationship. I remember one evening in the middle of the ocean. People were having a party in the boat, and we escaped it. We went to the top of the boat just to talk, just us. We saw the night sky and the stars, so beautiful, and my feelings were indescribable. I didn't want it to last, really. However, our time had run out, and Sebastian had to go back to his country. But before he left, I arranged a little farewell party for him with my whole family. He looked happy. Well, I wish he really was. But also sad because it was our last night together. After spending 2 weeks together 24/7, the day finally came. It's the day Sebastian flew back to his country. I drove him to the airport and we didn't talk much during the journey. We both were so sad. I cried, and I could also see he wiped his tears at some point. I remember the way he looked at me for the last time in real life. That sad look, but pretend to be strong. However, he said it wasn't the end of us, and he would want to pursue this relationship over a long distance. Well, he did it. He proved it right. He texted me, video called me every day, everywhere, even though he was so busy at work. And on my 30th birthday, he surprised me with flowers and cake. I was truly impressed. I mean, no one has ever done that to me. He arranged the delivery from far away, and it shows how much he cared about me. I guess if someone really matters to you, you would do anything for them, wouldn't you? Anyway, we had been 6 months apart, and he finally had good news. He planned to come and visit me again in March 2020. Yay! He already took leave from his office. But suddenly, bad news happened before our eyes. Yeah, that damn COVID-19 pandemic. Sebastian is an extrovert. So, when there was a lockdown in his country because of this pandemic, he was so frustrated. I was upset too, but we wanted to keep the relationship going. So we maintained regular communication while keeping an eye on the news. Until one day, when we thought everything was going better, it's actually going to the opposite direction. Before the COVID-19 pandemic happened, I already applied for a scholarship program to continue my study, and I got it. Although I was so disappointed that I didn't get into the country I originally applied to. But I thought it was better than trying another time. Sebastian would also prefer it. Initially, we thought by moving to Malaysia we would be able to see each other more often. However, the pandemic has destroyed our dreams. We remained in a long-distance relationship and kept each other updated on our lives. He was there when I needed him, and vice versa. 1 year since I moved to Malaysia, the pandemic situation was slowly under control, although it was not over yet. Meanwhile, his government started to ease restrictions in their country. He could finally travel overseas again, although limited to European countries. He then went to Portugal with his friends. Everything was still normal. He kept sending me messages and pictures, but I started to suspect something was off with him after this trip. The problem started to rise during his 39th birthday. I was already planning to give him a surprise for his birthday, but suddenly he was not available that day. He said he had a plan with his friends. Isn't that suspicious? I was so angry and so jealous. He was too. We hung up the phone feeling angry. But later that day, I finally told him about the surprise, which was a package of Indonesian coffee I ordered online because I knew he loved it. The package was supposed to arrive on his birthday, but the courier said there was no one at home during the time of delivery, so they would send it the next day. Meanwhile, Sebastian didn't respond to my message all night. But the next day, he told me he would be at home until the package arrived. He called me as soon as it arrived, but our conversation seemed cold and his expressions were unusual. I became more convinced that he had found someone else. After that birthday nightmare, there was a communication gap for months when we didn't talk as often as we did before. But surprisingly, Sebastian sent me flowers and a cheesecake on my 32nd birthday, along with a card saying that he would want to see me again. Oh my god, I was so happy, and I thought our relationship was back on track. But no, it was the end of our track. A month later, we had a little discussion about our next meeting, which to me he seemed not that interested anymore. So I was freaking out. I felt like I wasted my time on someone who didn't really want me. I never responded to his last message until his 40th birthday. Yeah, I know I was stupid. I kind of felt guilty about not responding to his message though, because I think if he really wanted me, he would text me again. But no, he did not. Not even once. At first, I genuinely wanted to wish him a happy birthday. But we happened to have a little chit-chat which revealed that he was single and he thought I was already seeing someone, which I was not. And he said that's why he never texted me again. Did I buy it? I foolishly did. And I was excited when he said he still wanted to meet me. So I thought we might get back together. Yay! But then, 2 months after that talk, nothing was planned on either side. So I was getting skeptical about this meeting. I asked him to have a talk, and we did have a short video call that turned out to be our last call ever. That one last video call answered all my doubts, and I became more convinced that he no longer had feelings for me. It was heartbreaking. I cried all day knowing that it was really the end of our story. I even cried writing this story. But life must go on, and here I am, trying to get my life together by closing the chapter of my love story with Sebastian. I really hope this will work because I need to leave. I want to leave and to finally love again without Sebastian in between. However, I thank God for bringing him in and out of my life. Despite his broken promises, I truly wish him a good life ahead. But most importantly, I wish he would never come back when I'm at the happiest in my life, because I know he would ruin it. Dear Sebastian, if you watch this video, I just want to say, I am over you. And that, my friend, is what they call a closure.